to another edition of the Dream Big, Pray Hard, Never Quit video series. Today, we have with us an old friend of mine, and I do mean old, Tim Mitchell, guy from high school. We played ball together, and I have him on for a very important reason. But first, Tim, how you doing, my man?
Man, I'm doing awesome, RJ. I appreciate you having me on today, and it's good to be here.
Man, you look great. You know, not as good as me, but that's all right. Not many people look as good as me. I totally get it. But you're a close second, all right?
Thank you.
Hey, we got Tim on here today because he has battled colon cancer and came out a survivor. And with a lot of focus right now on colon cancer since Chadwick passed away, the Black Panther, I thought it was a great time to bring Tim on and tell us about his battle and how it affected his family and the process. And I just thought, man, what a great interview, a great story for Dream Big, Pray Hard, Never Quit. So, Tim, I'm going to let you go. And as I kind of told you, I just kind of back off, let you tell your story, and then
Right.
I'll chime in when I feel like I should.
Okay. All right, good deal. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Well, let me just back up a little bit. RJ said I was old, but RJ is my big brother. So you can't be old to the old unless they're old.
Okay, I'm a little older. A little.
Hey, RJ mentioned we played ball together. RJ was picking me and a couple of my friends up because we only had our learner's permit. We didn't have driver's license. RJ had driver's license and the car. So hey, but anyway,
I remember that.
but he did used to. RJ's always been the same. RJ, I appreciate you finding the time to want to put me on to help share my story, and I appreciate you as you've always been the same guy. When we were in school, RJ, of course, he was actually you graduated with my brother Keith 2 years before we did, and but during football season, RJ always looked out for us and for me and a lot of the other guys, you know, like we were his little brother. So, you know, I really appreciated that. He's always been that throughout the time or whatever. So I appreciate being able to link up and to be able to be on this interview with you.
Well, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. I'll pay you later.
Hey, no problem. I got you. Thanks. But so Art, you know, you were saying that you brought me on to tell my story, and so in 2016, and the excuse me, in the first months of 2016, I think it was March of 2016, I had a checkup. I used to go to, you know, a 6-month checkup every 6 months. So I got a checkup, and I used to own a landscaping business. And during that summer, once I got my checkup, all summer I just felt really tired all the time. So I was leaving the house later and later every day. So in September, I told my wife, I said, something's not right. I said, I gotta go to the doctor and find out what's going on. Because, you know, my body really felt like, if you can remember, some of you guys can remember the old cell phones when you charge them up and they wouldn't charge 100%. They only charge, you know, 20, 30%, and then they'll go back dead. So that's how my body felt every day. Once I would get out in the mornings and start to work, I would just get really tired after about an hour or so. So fast forward to September, I went to the doctor on a Thursday, and he looked at my charts, and he said, "Oh, your blood was low," which he actually missed looking at that, and back in March. And I feel like because I've never had any other line symptoms like, you know, high blood, like hypertension or anything like that, you know, people have the tendency when all this is good, then they don't necessarily look to the other stuff. So I just, you know, me personally, I just feel that that's why, you know, that was maybe overlooked. So he decided.
Now, can they tell? They can tell with a blood test
Mm-hmm.
whether something is wrong. Your level, some sort of levels off that could lead to cancer. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if they can actually tell, if it's leading to cancer, but if your blood is extremely low, or if you have a low count, because different things causes your blood levels to be low. But
Right.
mine was extremely low. So when I went to the doctor that Thursday, he called and well, no, he told me he said I'm going to send you to the doctor to get some blood work done. So Friday morning at 6 o'clock, the nurse was calling and she said, "Don't go to work, don't drive, don't do anything. Go to the hospital because you need blood." So I went to the hospital and my hemoglobin was a 5, and a normal hemoglobin is a 13.5. So honestly, I was about to stroke out there. That's why they were saying, don't drive, don't do anything, don't go to work. And thinking back on that, I probably could have stroked out because I really used to be out there getting in the hot sun, with the landscaping.
Right.
So
Now,
yeah,
again, you live in Atlanta,
yes, I do.
hot Atlanta.
Hot Atlanta.
Exactly. So
Hot.
you're out there doing landscape in this humidity, and
Yes, sir.
it's no joke.
Yes, sir. I mean, drenched, like, 9:30, I'm drenched, sweating. When I wasn't sick, I was doing it. So you can only imagine,
Right.
I'm sick and out there doing it. And mind you, I've been doing this all summer. So, but just understand that, I got to get it, but didn't know. I'm thinking I'm tired because of my weight, because I'm a big guy. So
Right.
I always thinking, I need to lose some weight, but still eat honey buns. So it's
I get it. I feel you, brother.
yeah. So that weekend, I ended up staying in the hospital, and they gave me 3 units of blood. So they said we need to find out where this blood is going. So they did a test, and they said we need to send you for a colonoscopy. The next couple of days, they sent me for a colonoscopy. They found a large mass in my colon, which was the size of a large lemon, and that it was actually protruding outside of my colon. So it was about to spread. So from there, the next couple of days, they sent me to do an MRI just to confirm. They pretty much knew it was cancer.
I want to stop because this is where I think a lot of men, especially, and I fall in that boat because I just turned 50 in July. And as soon as I turned 50, now my wife is a nurse, teaches nursing. And her first thing was, "You're 50, you got to go get checked." Now,
Right.
I'm sitting here thinking, that ain't happening.
Let me dispel that. Let me dispel that right now.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Bro, I've had about 4. You don't even know. If anything, because of the Miralax and the Dulcolax that you have to take to clean out, if anything, you're gonna lose 5 to 7 pounds overnight.
Hey, maybe I should go soon.
but once when you go in there again, you start the prep like that night, like at 6 o'clock, and then you drink more at 12 o'clock, and then by the time you go in about midday the next day, you're pretty much cleaned out. So nothing's coming out but like just clear liquids. And then once you go back there, they because they put you under. I mean, basically you don't even know they've been in there, bro. You don't even
That's
know
good.
you don't even know they've been in there because they'll talk to you. Hey, so the anesthesiologist, each time it happened to me, they were just talking, casually, whatever. Then, they'll say, "Hey, okay, so I'm gonna have you to count down from 10," and it's like 10, 9. Next thing Mr. Mitchell, Tim, wake up or whatever. And it took me, a couple minutes to wake up. Not a couple, to actually, put
Right,
you out
right.
or whatever. But no discomfort, no, men joke about it all the time or whatever.
Right.
But it was no anything. I mean, I don't mind doing that because I've had to take several or whatever.
Right.
But it's never been an issue. So again,
And I wanted to cover that because I know a lot of guys are just like, and they're scared of it and they won't admit it.
that's
It's
a
a
male
mind
type,
thing. It is. And
I
I'm
don't
gonna be
think
honest.
that's
I am scared to death to go. And
nah.
I do a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I was in a balloon ride, reached down, picked the leaf
Oh,
off a tree, no
oh
problem.
wow.
Going to get a colonoscopy, I'm like, I'm scared of that. I mean,
Right,
come on.
right. Yeah, I'm not getting in a balloon ride because that thing might. Yeah, I know it's gonna come down, but my question is how fast it's gonna come
That's
down.
right.
Yeah,
All
man.
right.
So
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're good. You're good. And so there's no again the colonoscopy. There was no discomfort or anything with that. So that was totally fine. So once they came back, with the MRI and confirmed that it was cancer, and they confirmed that it was stage 3. They said we need to schedule. They said that we need to schedule you for surgery. So the next week and a half, I was in surgery. So all this was like the course of about 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
I went from okay, you need to go to the doctor to we're scheduling the surgery. So the surgery was a partial colectomy where they cut out the right side of my colon and they took out my appendix. And again, the mass was the size of a large lemon, and it was protruding or starting to come out of my colon. So if I would have waited longer, I don't know. This is just me talking. I don't know if I'll be sitting here talking to you, RJ,
Right.
or or if it would have been stage 4, and I would have had to go through more of what I went through because it was about to be stage 4. So listen to your bodies. So and that being said, so once I did surgery, um, I'm thinking I did surgery on September the 19th. So I'm thinking that okay, got a landscaping business. I'm pretty much the primary in the family.
Right.
Financially and with the business. So my mindset is I'm thinking, okay, well shoot, I had surgery September, October, November, December, I should be good or whatever. But then after surgery, they said, okay, you got to do 12 rounds of chemo. So I was like, wow, okay. So I started, so once I started chemo, like the next few weeks, I started chemo, and I ended up doing 7 months of chemo, but 12 rounds. It took 7 months. I'm sorry. It should have took
Wow.
6 months, but my 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 white blood cells kept dropping, and what your white blood cells is your immune system.
Right.
So because they kept going low, then they had to put off. We had to skip week a couple of times, and in order to do the treatment. And just so people know, chemo is not 100%. It's not 80%. Chemo is only about 30-35%. But in my mind, people used to message me, and RJ, you say you want me, to just tell my story, my mindset, right?
No, you're fine. You
Yeah.
keep going.
Okay. So a lot of people, some people message me, hey man, I don't know if you want to do that chemo and this and that, because I've seen studies that people change their eating habits and they do this. RJ, honestly, my mindset was not there to totally change my eating habits and to and not to do the chemo, because my mindset went straight to I want to live.
Right.
Not
Exactly.
I want to not put this medicine in my body and fight the natural way. I like I said, some people have that mindset and some people have done it and totally turned some stuff around. I wasn't there, man. I said like, yo, I got to do this chemo because if my chances are pretty decent, then I got to do it to see if this happens. See if it
I would
see
have
if
been the
it
same
happens.
way. And, again, I'm going to go probably like you did. I'm going to go with what the doctors say most of the time. They've been doing
Right.
this. They went to, how many years of school for this and then have done it year after year. I'm like, they know more about it than I do.
Exactly. And that's just it, RJ. And and by me going through that, and people say, hey, well, you want to get the second opinion, the third opinion. I get that too. But my jump stage 3, I was about to die. I'm trying to live. You
I
know,
get it.
I don't know how much time I have. And don't get me wrong, to each his own. Everybody's gonna,
Right.
do their thing the way that they want to do it. But my mindset was just like, I'm not trying to die right now because one, there's still some stuff I want to put in place. I'm not scared to die, but there's some stuff that I want to put in place because when I leave the earth, I don't want my wife to have to try to figure out what's going on. When I leave, I need for my stuff to be in place in order to, so that she can just pretty much, hopefully not shop it
Well,
all away.
you want to make sure your family's taken care of. I totally get it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's, so say what you want to sometimes about guys and stuff, but those of us who love and cherish our families and
Right.
care, we
Right.
want to make sure they're taken care of. If we move on, I want to make sure, hey, family's taken care of, and that's what we do.
Exactly, and that was my whole mindset, So going through the chemo on the first chemo, me and the wife, because I ride motorcycles, and so I told my wife, I said, we're gonna beat this, and then I'm gonna ride my motorcycle. I said so we're gonna beat cancer, then ride. So that's where my hashtag came from. So I have an Instagram page and a Facebook page. The title is Beat Cancer Then Ride. One word, Beat Cancer Then Ride, and hashtag Beat Cancer Then Ride. And the reason, and that's where it came from, because I said I'm gonna beat this cancer and then ride. And every 2 weeks, or and sometimes more than that, we vlog videos of like going to the cancer visit, coming back from it, and sometimes at the house or whatever. So this is the thing, RJ. I wanted to really vlog and let people know what goes on when somebody goes through chemo, the ups and downs. For the most part, either if my wife was up, I was down, or vice versa. But that was the importance of I have a great support system. She was a great support system for me, always has been. But I want to tell people, because, and I've said this in the past, but I find it to be not necessarily in the Black community. And what I'm about to say is, like, when I was little or younger, I've been to the hospital with my dad several times to see an aunt or uncle, and they never really discussed what was going on. They never
Right.
discussed like what they had. It was almost like a secret. That they're saying, what goes on in this house stays in this house.
Right.
And so they never really said anything, which I feel like it paid us a disservice, because by us not knowing what's going on in the family, we don't necessarily know what to look for, or what to get checked for.
Right.
Moving forward.
For
But
heredity.
having conversations with other guys, I've talked to some white guys, I've talked to an Asian guy, and they said that some of them said, well, hey, yeah, my dad. One guy told me, yeah, my dad had cancer, and my mom didn't tell us what was going on. And another guy was like, yo, my mom, my aunt was sick or something, and they didn't tell her. So I feel it wasn't necessarily a color thing. It was kind of a generational thing.
Right.
The older
right.
generation didn't necessarily tell us what was going on. They kind of shielded us, because I don't know how you do with your kids, but me and my wife, we've always been pretty open with the kids as far as, hey, money don't allow to do that this week.
Exactly.
We're not doing that, or that's we need to wait on that or whatever. Which is not necessarily what they did with us in the past.
Yeah, they tried to put it. They didn't want to make sure they wanted everything to seem perfect and shield you from stuff.
Exactly.
You can't be shielded from life.
Exactly.
And you're talking about stuff like, if my dad, diabetes, just about everyone in my dad's family has diabetes. Guess what?
What?
Diabetes. I got it soon after high school. Well, I found out. I probably had it before then.
Right.
But it runs in the family, and if you got to know your family, so when you go to the doctor, they can be looking for stuff that's hereditary, and
Exactly.
hopefully catch it before it happens.
That's the key, man. That's the key. And with colon cancer, early detection is key. So if you find early, I've also talked to actually one of my wife's classmates. We were at one of her class reunions a couple years back, and a guy that I actually knew from church like a long time ago, he pulled me to the side and he said, "Hey Tim," he said, "Man, I had colon cancer." He said, "I was stage 1." He said, "By they called it early. I had surgery and I'm good." So if early detection is key. So if you can catch it early, then your chances and the change in your lifestyle will be drastic, as far as instead of having to alter everything, you can have the surgery be down for just a short while and then be okay, or
Right.
whatever. So and that's our whole thing in trying to let people know. You need to ask questions, know your family history, get checked. Just right now, it used to be 50, but getting checked for colon cancer used to be 50, but now it's 45, because
Right.
they finding people that are younger and younger. Like I was 43 when I was diagnosed. I'm 47 now, and Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther, he was he died at 43.
Right.
So we got, so he was diagnosed, at the same time I was, with the same thing. And RJ, because this platform, and I appreciate your platform, I'll even go this better. See, like the mainstream media, they don't really talk about this, but I want to share this with you, and and all of you viewers. When I finished chemo, I went to the doctor. We thought that we were going in for our for the checkup, for him to say, okay, well now we need to, preventative stuff, this, that, and the other. RJ, when I went in to talk to him, and this is what I haven't been able to share with the larger crowds or whatever.
Right.
Because what I haven't been able to share is when we went into my oncologist. Man, he came in with a very solemn face, and he was shaking his head, RJ, and he was looking at the paperwork, and he didn't want to tell us. What he told us was, and I might get choked up a little bit, we get old, we start crying.
That's right.
But when we went in, and he was like, he said, I don't understand. And it took him a minute, but in short, he said, your stage 3 has moved to stage 4. And he said, you have lesions all over your liver. And we don't know if we'll be able to do surgery or not, because it's all over your liver. So he said, I don't really want to waste your time. He said, I've sent it to several of my colleagues that are specialists in the field, surgical oncologists. He said, but I'm going to send you to one of my colleagues. He's a surgical oncologist, so he can look at it and see if there's surgery that he can do. In the event that he can do surgery, they'll cut most of your liver out, but you'll pretty much have to be on chemo, like a chemo pill or whatever, for the rest of your life. But if he can't, he said, what I would tell you is that, and he was struggling to tell me this, man. He was struggling. He said, what I'm telling you is that we don't know the moving forward, basically how long you got. So once he finished saying that stuff, I asked my wife to go out the room. I asked her to leave, and she really didn't. She was done, because he said it was stage 4.
Right.
So when she went out of the room, I asked him. I said, what you're telling me is that we can maybe do surgery, and I may be okay, but my chances are still slim. He said, what I'm telling you is that, no, and I asked him, I said, so I have like 2 years or less to live. And he said, that's what I'm saying. He said, what I'm telling you is, if there's anything that you want to do, no, he said, I want you to get your affairs in order. And if there's anything that you want to do, I'm advising you to go ahead and do it now. I was like, okay. So I didn't tell my wife that. I didn't tell him. He kind of left it open-ended before she walked out. So I didn't tell her that. So we went to the surgical oncologist the next couple of days. Him and like 3 or 4 of his colleagues looked at it, and he said, I'm really not sure if we can do anything, if we can have surgery. He said, but I need to send you to get another MRI. So I got another MRI, and we went back to see him a couple days later. This is the kicker. This is what I really want to share. Me and my wife were praying for us to be able to have surgery and to be able to halfway have a decent life moving forward. But you have to be intentional in what you pray for, because we were praying for surgery, but God has something different in the works. So when we went back, I know I talked too long. I'm sorry, bro.
No, you're fine. Look, I'm almost tearing up. I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for you to say it.
I talk slow. My wife get on me all the time. Anyway, so when we went back in, when I was sitting on the table, and he walked in, he was like this close, he was like in my space, and I was like, good morning. And he said, good morning. And he was smiling. And he said, this is the surgical oncologist. He said, you haven't seen your scans, have you? And I said, no. He said, what we saw on your liver was fat pockets, and you did not have cancer. He said, so get out of my office and have a great day. So my wife goes, so his liver just fat. Bro, man, when I tell you, that was one of the happiest days of my life, because, now mind you, RJ, roughly about 6 professionals looked at my stuff. And this is the difference in my opinion, non-believers and believers. Some people say, man, some of them doctors don't be knowing what they be talking about. But RJ, when 6 different people see the same thing and they come back with the same diagnosis, but then when God brings his diagnosis in and be like, yeah, I know what they think they saw, but this is what we're gonna say. I mean, this is what it is. So what I'm saying to that is, man, we have to be careful and we have to be intentional about how we pray and what we pray for. We have to pray, for God's divine will and his purpose in our life, and not what we think will be okay or what we think will be good enough. Because again, we were praying for, a surgery that, again, that I could live halfway decent. But God was like, no, I'm not even going to put you through that again. I'm going to totally heal your body. So whatever they saw, he fixed it.
If you're a non-believer and you're watching this, that's a miracle. And you can say anything you want about, they missed it. Or, maybe it was the chemo and this and that. I'm going to tell you what it was. Yeah. And Tim, it was God.
Yeah,
it was God. It wasn't your time. And he had other plans for you. Yeah. You still have stuff to do. And this might be it. This might be you did your vlog. You're reaching out to people. Right. You're letting people know God healed me of this.
Yes.
And you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And that's a purpose.
Exactly.
Man, exactly. I am so proud of you. That's and to have the courage. And I know the mainstream media will not let you say that. And I hate shame on them.
Nope.
They don't want anything to do with.
Thank you. That's why I said thank you, because mainstream don't want necessarily put that out there. Yeah, they believe in God and all that. But you know, true testimonies, man, I am miracle boy. I hashtag a lot of times I am miracle boy because I know God performed a miracle in my life. And my wife said, she said, you know, we've seen miracles done. She said, but I believe that God performed this miracle in your life for our age group so that we can actually, which we've all seen miracles, but so we can actually see a miracle that's right amongst us. So, bro, I have no doubt in my mind that, you know, God healed me. I am a miracle boy. I am a miracle. And just like you said, I believe that I have a voice. Like by me being on bro, Men's Health Magazine, they reached out and did an article. The article came out, a week and a half before the Black Panther died of the same thing. From that article, Good Morning America reached out to me. I did an interview with them. Inside Edition reached out to me. I did an interview with them on national television. You know, my face right beside the Black Panther's face. You know, Chadwick Boseman, which was an awesome guy. The local news here in Atlanta, WSB, reached out, and I've been talking to different people. And let me just say, you know, about Chadwick Boseman, you know, people are saying nothing but good stuff about him, bro. The way the guy carried himself, RJ, and the fact that he went through chemo and he was fighting this stuff and still making movies. RJ, I drive trucks for the film industry, so I know what the schedules are like. Our average days are 12 to 15 hours a day. I say we pretty much work 2 weeks a week, 2 months a month. I mean, we work like 80 hours a week.
Good gracious.
And it's a grueling schedule. You know, it's rewarding, but it's a grueling schedule. So just that man going through this, carrying himself the way he did, and to be able to, all I can say is he is a true superhero. I'm a big dude, man. And when I tell you after chemo, RJ, I did chemo on Mondays. I would go in for infusions. I would stay for a couple hours in infusions, but I did chemo for 72 hours because when I left, I had a port in my chest, and they would connect me, and I had a fanny pack that had a bag of chemo in it. So Monday afternoon, I would leave, and that chemo pack would be on me until Wednesday morning. And I mean, I couldn't take it. I had to sleep with it, shower with it, and everything. And so I would go back in on Wednesday so they could disconnect me. But when I tell you, like after chemo, now chemo affects people differently. You know, It could be a little old lady and she could be fine, but that wasn't my case. A couple hours after chemo, bro, I was in the bed all day Tuesday. I was in the bed. I had to struggle to get out of bed Wednesday, you know, because I was still doing chemo.
Right.
So that they could take the pump off. I was back in the bed Thursday evening, Friday. It was like a whole week. I did chemo every 2 weeks. So it was a whole week of pretty much no motion or slow motion. By the next week, I would start to get better. And by the end of the week, then it's time to do chemo again. You know, for 7 months, bro. So just knowing that this young man dealt with that for all of this time, I just pray blessings for everybody that surrounded him, in his time, because, bro, he was a miracle walking at that time. And see, the second part of Survivor, because I know I'm a survivor, but if you look at the definition of survivor, and I'm not going to quote it because I get it wrong, but the second part of it is somebody that's going through adverse stuff, but still going through.
Right.
Chadwick Boseman was a survivor, and not just him. I mean, yeah, he's in the limelight, but there's many of people that are going through it, man, and have gone through it. Warriors, survivors that that are still here, and some that have moved on. I talked to a young lady. My social media has allowed me to talk to different people. I talked to a 26-year-old young lady that has a daughter. She has stage 4 cancer. She lives in Jamaica. I did a video chat with her the other night, and I'm going to start putting some of these videos on as well, like you, RJ. And I appreciate your platform, man, and I just appreciate, you not being ashamed of the gospel and allowing people to share their story and to share their voice, because we need it. People need to know what's going on. They need to know what's happening. What in all of your platforms and all of your different stuff. Prayer is the key, man.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna get choked up here.
Okay.
And I haven't really said this on camera.
Right.
I've said it in a few churches here and there, but I'm going to tell you how Dream Big, Pray Hard, Never Quit came about.
Okay.
I was reading the book, and it was talking about dreaming big and praying hard, and I was like, but there's more to it. You got to never quit.
Right.
The pray hard, is the never quit aspect of it. So I just put them all together.
Right.
Okay. And I sat on that for a couple of years. And I was like, Lord, I know you've got plans for it. I just don't know what they are. Well, my oldest daughter, when she was about 18, maybe a little, maybe 20, we found out that she was raped when she was 11 by her step-grandfather. And it changed us. I have never felt so much anger in my life towards somebody. I've never seen him since, thank God. I think that's God,
Right.
And she was struggling, when it all came out.
Right.
She was able to reach out for help because she hid it. Most of her childhood, she hid it inside. And I felt like a useless father once I found out. Why didn't I protect my family? Why didn't I protect my little girl? All these things that I just felt horrible about myself. Well, she ended up going to Chicago to a very nice center to where she could get help for everything that she'd been through. And she was gone for 4 months. And I remember taking her up there, and I got in a room by myself, and I was just angry at everybody. And I said, Lord, what is it? I just want to fight. I want to fight. And I know with a clear voice, and people can mock me, say whatever, but God came down with a clear voice, and he said, then fight. It's time. And I was like, time for what? And he goes, it's time for Dream Big, Pray Hard, Never Quit.
Right.
And that's how it all started. The book came out. Satan came into my family, just like yours, and meant to tear our families apart.
Yes.
We turned it around.
Yes.
And we made it into something that Satan was like, great. What did I do that for? Right. Now they're stronger than ever.
Exactly.
And I hope I only told that story because I think your story really touched me. And that struggle that you went through, and to see what you're doing with that in the vlog and reaching out and helping other people, a personal tragedy of yours, you turned around and are helping thousands of people. Right. And it takes God to be able to take a tragedy and turn it into a blessing.
Exactly.
And I love your story. It's an amazing story. I hope in no way, and I might edit this out, I don't know. I just hope in no way you think I was trying to take away from your story from telling you that story.
Not at all. Not at all, RJ. Not at all.
And I can't believe I made it through that.
Let me say this. Not at all, because mind you, it's been a couple years since I went through this, and I feel like, just like you just shared that, I feel like everybody has a story, but you share it when it's time to share it.
Exactly.
Like I said, it's been a couple years, but I'm just real, like, my face was up there with the
which is amazing.
with him. Yeah, it was just time for my story to get out, to whoever saw it, and and to whoever's going to touch. So I just feel like it's just a matter of time. Whenever the time is for something to come out, that's when it comes out.
And I think it's amazing that God knew your timing.
Yeah.
Um, uh, everything happened, and you were, and I know you got to have been you had to have been. Wait a minute, Men's Health wants to do an article. Wait, I'm going to be on TV. Are you kidding me? I mean that's huge. That's huge.
Dude, I'm seeing the message. I'm like, oh, is this real? I'm like, hello. Yeah, man.
So
yeah,
I mean, congratulations and awesome job sharing your story with the world. I mean, because you have. I mean, millions of people watch those shows. Millions of people read Men's Health, and you have touched millions of people.
Yep.
Because you were brave enough to go out there and tell your story. God bless you, man. You're an amazing individual. I always knew from high school you were an amazing young man. Look at you. Look at you. It's awesome.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Look, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Guys, no, you okay. You guys, like, it's so funny. Even though I was a sophomore and you and my brother were seniors, like when you guys graduated, people used to be like, "You still here?" And I was like, because I used to like get to sit with them. They had the senior table, my brother and his friends. I could sit with them at the lunch table, and I used to hang out, with you guys, and you always picking us up. You and Alex still picking us up, dropping us off, for practice, and so I just feel like I always look at you guys like all my brother's friends, and you guys as my big brothers. I come from a big family anyway, but my extended family at school and stuff. So I've always had a heart for you guys because it's like y'all always looked out for us. It was never any. Yeah, y'all picked on us too, but it was never any crazy stuff or whatever. You guys always looked out. So I'm telling you, RJ, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. For checking me out. Wanting me to have me on your platform because I consider it a blessing. As far as I'm concerned, this is as big as any of those national platforms, and and even better, you allow me to tell my full story. So that's even more better, man.
Well, thank you very much, and everyone out there. I mean, this was a great interview. I absolutely loved it. All I can tell everyone out there, no matter what you're going through, no matter what's happening, whether it's a fight for survival is your dream, like it was in Tim's case, or going to a different level in your life is your dream. Always, always dream big, pray hard, and never quit.